The landmark sexual discrimination law, which opened the doors for women in sports, education, and the workplace, just got transitioned on Friday after the Biden administration expanded Title IX to include transgender. The change would potentially undo bathroom bills in 10 states, forcing schools to let trans students use whatever locker room or bathroom they want. The government's putting the interest of deranged surgeons above the rights and safety of young women. A 12-year-old little girl got her skull bashed in by another student at an elementary school outside of Philly. And parents say the attacker's a boy who identifies as a girl, and the school's covering it up.
This was a teenage boy who beat on a little girl. All right? Call it what it is. I don't care. Don't look at me like that, Mr. Fusco. You're a father. What if that was your daughter? What if that was your daughter? How come none of the articles said that it was a boy attacking a girl? How come half the people here kept switching between he and she? If this kid was protected simply because they were trans and not because of any other reason, that's not cool. They have a violent past.
Security tapes, which the school's hiding, show the attacker sneak up on the girl and beat her repeatedly in the head with one of those big metal Stanley cups. Screaming, crying, blood everywhere. It went down in the middle of the lunchroom, and the entire student body's traumatized. Parents say the school was tipped off about the attack. A group of girls found out the trans student had a hit list of girls to bludgeon. So they did the right thing and told adults multiple times that day, who ignored it.
I went to the guidance counselor and told her, since I was second on the hit list, knowing that there was something going to happen, 'cause I was told, watch your back. He is going to come for you. I was terrified, and I told Miss Fattori that was happening, and she said, don't worry about it, it's not going to happen. And laying in bed last night, I just kept repeating it in my head, and we shouldn't have had to sit there, watch her repeatedly yelling that I'm going to murder you, and just hitting her with a Stanley. And I don't get how, that you couldn't have stopped it. It was 5 hours from when I told you it was going to happen.
And this mother reported a separate threat the student made to her daughter just days before.
If it was taken serious by multiple complaints, that little girl would have been in school today. And my daughter is traumatized.
So the transgender suspect was arraigned this morning where he, you're not going to believe this, hit a sheriff's deputy with a water jug and could face new charges for that assault. Primetime reached out to the school for comment. They had nothing to add.
Well, you gotta love that, right? Look, whatever, the trans community, if you're trans, that's fine. But people that are like using trans to get away with just being a straight up scumbag criminal and, you know, be above the law because they think they're untouchable, fuck you. Go f yourselves. Whatever. That dude should be charged as an adult dude and have to do jail time with real other dudes and see how he feels after that.
There's some things I just can't tell you.
Did you go through the secret files, the UFO documents? Because if I was president, that'd be the first thing I did.
You know, it's funny. My daughters asked the very same question.
They did?
Yeah.
UFOs. You've been the president. You've seen all the info. Are they real?
The truth is that we've never proved one, but there are things flying around up there that we haven't fully identified yet.
Would you be allowed to tell your daughters what was in those files?
No.
You know, what's hilarious is there's word I've heard through the grapevine that his grandfather, of course, is, you know, one of the founders of the UFO secrecy program. And or maybe his great-grandfather, whatever, whoever, Vannevar Bush. George Bush Sr. knows that aliens exist, and when George Bush Jr. went to go ask him, he apparently got turned down. He wasn't let in on the secret. That's what I've heard in UFO circles.
No.
You would not?
No.
Now that you're out of office, you can do anything you want, right?
True, yeah. But I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me. You're not telling me what? Are you not telling me that you looked at them?
I'm not telling you nothing.
All this talk about dem aliens with the you know, what are they, UAFs or whatever they call them, you know, all the footage and everyone talking about it. It's like, but I was wondering if you have a theory about that.
Well, when it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
What's your viewpoint on what these objects that seem to defy all laws of physics are?
Well, first of all, that's a legitimate question now. The short answer, but not the most meaningful one, is I don't know about this.
So did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in and he did check and there was nothing.
Well, you know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Are there really great secrets that you know that you can't share with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. And you never write about them.
No.
So I think there are lots of interesting discoveries, biological, on Earth, and other discoveries in the heavens that those of you who are younger will get to see unfold. You'll have all kind of problems with them, but on balance, it'll be a plus. And it'll make life much more interesting.
Hold that thought. This is a little video I put together.
The moment I was inaugurated, my hand would just, it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and UFOs, and I'd go through everything to find out what happened. Right. Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do. The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and saying, of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in and he did check and there was nothing.
Well, you know, that's what we're instructed to say.
That we're not just dealing with reptilians or little grays or whatever. We're dealing with probably thousands of different extraterrestrial species, some of which are just coming here, taking a look and leaving. Others are doing their own agendas. Good and bad Nordic civilization people. You are living on a planet which is nothing but a laboratory that belongs to them. Planet Earth has been being used for thousands of years by different extraterrestrials. We are and have been just a laboratory planet for extraterrestrial agendas.
And supermarket for genetic material.
Yeah, right.
Your government, your corrupt education don't give a damn about you or your family. All they care about is what they have always cared about, and that's controlling the whole damn world.
Indeed. Well, they hide everything in plain sight.
So this is from the former head of Israel's space program, Chaim Ashed, who says that aliens have been in contact with the U.S. and with Israel. What does he refer to? The Galactic Federation, that he says has been in touch with Israel and the U.S. He also says that Donald Trump was going to reveal their existence, but then basically got talked out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, and look, he's 87 years old. According to him, he says he has nothing to lose. He's a decorated former Israeli general, former space security chief. He's been awarded a medal 3 separate times, 2 secretly, for actions that kept Israel safe. Clearly somebody who was regarded well by that government. Now, what he's saying is kind of crazy. He says that the cooperation of, there's a secret pact between the U.S. government and the Galactic Federation.
The aliens won't let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
There's a secret pact between the U.S. government and the Galactic Federation that the cooperation includes a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives.
Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants, but extraterrestrials. He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria.
You know, I'm proud to have that German blood. There's no question about it.
That was supposed to be
Great
edited
stuff.
out.
The retired general says the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is. Well, the good news is that he claims an agreement has been reached between the US government and the aliens, a contract to do experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives. Now, this former head of a branch of Israel's defense ministry is 87. He was very well respected. He says he's come forward now in the hope that his news will be accepted as true. He notes that if he'd made these claims 5 years ago, he would have been hospitalized, but now he says, I've got nothing to lose. Well, so far, President Trump has not tweeted about this, though remember a year ago, he did set up the Space Force as the fifth branch of the US Armed Forces. Well, we did ask the White House, the Department of Defense, and Israeli officials to comment. So far, they have not responded to the NBC News request, and I wonder if they ever will.
Question is that there has to be a complete philosophical makeover of all government, military, and political, we'll call them power brokers on this planet. They've got to do a 180 degree that says lying perpetually as policies of denial about the presence of other life forms on this planet, based on this planet, underground, based on the moon, based on Mars, and probably throughout the solar system and beyond, that to have had, at least since 1947, official policies in the United States that were reflected by our World War II allies, England, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, that the public is to be lied to for the foreseeable future. And that is the way they speak. The public and the media at all costs are to know nothing about the presence of extraterrestrials on this planet and throughout the solar system. 47 to 97 to 2007 to 2019. We're still on a planet in which the so-called power brokers are treating the mass of humanity as if we were 2-year-olds that cannot be told the truth. And there can be only one reason to me why this would be perpetuated today. And that is because there is a 0.5% of the power brokers on this planet that are making all kinds of barter system profit. The SEALs tell me they know firsthand. We have interstellar trade. We are working with ally extraterrestrials and have been since the 1970s. Interstellar trade. Your own UK citizen, Gary McKinnon, back in 2001, when he made this announcement that he had stumbled into our computer networks, which were not safe and apparently protected at that time in the United States, and he saw spreadsheet, non-terrestrial pilots lists. Clearly, he stumbled into something that relates to exactly what the Navy SEALs and others are telling me in 2019. Interstellar trade routes. And when I said, well, what would we, humans, Homo sapiens sapien on planet Earth, What would we be trading? And the answer was, you, meaning Earth, you need rare metals. We're running out of rare metals. We're running out of helium on Earth. There's a vast galaxy here, and we are collaborating with non-humans who know how to go to X, Y, and Z and bring us what we need, and that they are interested in some of the technologies that humans make on Earth, and it goes to them.
They're like dildos.
Suddenly, the reason for why the power brokers of Earth would have any incentive in 2019 to keep this from the planet begins to emerge. Profit.
Bing, bada bingo. Profit. It's always about the money.
You guys, the veil is really starting to lift. Listen to this guy's story. He has been delivering for a certain guy for a few months now, and nothing out of the ordinary has ever happened until this certain day. People are waking up and realizing a lot of these people are not what they look like. The veil is coming down, and people are about to see things that they are not ready to see. Listen to this story, y'all.
Hey, so today I experienced something that I've never experienced in my life before. It freaked me out, thought I was crazy. Still haven't processed it fully. So, as I do every week, twice a week, I make deliveries to the same guy. I've been doing it for 7 months. And it's the same guy every time I walk in. He's got a big garage with like a couple trucks in it. I walk in, I hand him his parts, we talk for a minute, I walk away. I go on my business. Today, I walked in, and he had his back to me, and he was working on his bench, and he must have heard me coming. I don't know, because I was actually pretty quiet, I thought, but when he turned around, I jumped and kind of grabbed my mouth like that because I didn't know what to think. And he laughed a little bit, and he called me jumpy. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm just not feeling very good. And I handed him his part, and I was like, hey, I gotta go. The reason I reacted that way is because when I looked at him, he was different. He didn't look like the same guy I saw every other time. First thing I saw was he had no color in his eyes. They were completely black. Like black, like you couldn't even see reflections, it was just a black mass. And for some reason his ears were kind of weird and they had like this little point like that. I don't know what that was. Excuse me. But then I was talking to my friend, and he sent me an article about them saying that a new disorder that's coming out where people are starting to see demon faces in people. And it got me thinking, if they're putting something like that out, could it be a disorder, or is it God is actually letting people see demons and they're just trying to make it look like we're crazy? I still can't process it. I can't. I don't know. And like ever since the eclipse, I find it funny, the clouds look different for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is yet. I'm going to figure that one out. But that could be just me being dumb. The other thing I saw, like I have perfect vision, so I don't know what I saw. If anybody else has ever seen this, please let me know.
You see, how is it that when we're children, it's okay to show us movies with television shows that depict dragons and monsters and reptilians and all these crazy creatures that we've never seen before, but when people saying that they're starting to see these things now they're labeling us as crazy? But it's okay to show us these things when we are children. Remember, y'all, everything we have been told is a lie, and people are about to get ready to see the truth. The veil is lifting, y'all. All I can say is get ready. Buckle up. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift, y'all.
If it is a demon disorder, bet your ass are gonna be a pharmaceutical commercial pushing some sort of a medication that can stop you from having the symptoms.
Glamham, here's everything we know about the blob so far.
At first we thought the strange blob anomaly appeared only on April the 10th, 2024. Turns out it was also present on February the 22nd and March the 27th. This is NASA's Earth data site, and for the heck of it I put in April 9th to the 13th, and on the 10th we do see, well, is it a blob?
VentureSky.com came out and said this was a model error, a glitch. The majority of people, from what I can tell in the comments, are not believing this.
Maybe because there was a radar outage containing important weather information.
I certainly don't think there was waves. We know this is a major shipping route. Somebody would have caught some big waves on a cell phone camera. I did a video on the island that happens to be down here. It's so remote that if you search into it on Google Earth, it doesn't have a name. The only way you can have its name appear is if you put Bouvet Island into the search. I had somebody write to me who worked at Apple Maps, and they said that that is not normal. That if the name doesn't appear on the island, it's because someone designed it that way. If I have to make a guess what I think it is, not waves, maybe nothing even visible. Maybe some sort of a force field, a frequency, cloaking device. I've had many people write to me saying the weather has been off the charts in the Cape Town area of South Africa. We've also had the unprecedented storm in Dubai. Some of you believe these incidents are related to the blob. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Take care.
I can't really speak on the blob because I'm not really sure what it is. This is the first I've ever heard about it, but if it's like the black goo that they found in
Hey, it's Glamham. Here's everything we know about the blob.
Shut up, lady. I'm fucking talking here. Where was I? Oh. The black goo that they talk about that was found in the Falkland Islands, that the Falkland Wars, World War II were fought after. Argentina had claim to it or something. The black goo is like, it's a scientific anomaly. I really have to brush up on it to remember exactly what it is, but do your own research. Look up the black goo in the Falkland Islands.
Yes, that is true, and I'm telling you, more.
Fuck you and your flat Earth theory.
No, I just. The Justice Department finally releasing the highly anticipated transcripts of Biden's interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. 5 hours of Biden unscripted. Our producers spent all day reading this, and now we understand what Robert Hur meant when he called Biden painfully slow. The transcripts confirm that Biden didn't remember when his son died, when he was vice president, or when Trump was elected. Biden had to be reminded multiple times throughout his interview what a fax machine was. And whenever he was redirected to focus on the question at hand, he'd launch into wacky stories weirder than corn pop. For instance, when the special counsel asked why he moved classified documents from the Naval Observatory, Biden claimed he'd won an international torts competition in law school, and then shared a story of a 23-year-old who was wearing the wrong pants, wrong jeans when a spark caught fire, and he lost one of his testicles. Biden called himself a frustrated architect who went to Mongolia, where he shot bow and arrows with sumo wrestlers. Biden said he had great aim and put everyone in Mongolia to shame. At one point, Biden asked Special Counsel Hur if he saw, quote, risque pictures of my wife in a bathing suit, which you probably did. She's beautiful. When asked about his classified documents in the garage, Biden bragged he went on Leno with his Corvette and started making car noises. Quote, all you do is you take your foot off the brake and vroom, vroom. Joe Biden complained that the Secret Service was driving him crazy because they wouldn't let him drive. So Biden would drive back and forth in his own driveway quote, I'd get it to the bottom of the driveway, tack it up to about $4,000 and vroom, vroom. Yeah, the president making more car noises. Now, if you were a prosecutor conducting a deposition, you're asking about highly sensitive national security secrets, and the subject starts revving his engine and pretending to hit the clutch, you know he's not fit to stand trial. This is why the White House won't release the audio tapes. The president's going, vroom, vroom, and asking, when was I vice president again? Robert Hur had to assess the president's mental state because his mental state would determine whether or not he willfully retained classified documents. What was going on through the president's mind or what wasn't going on through the president's mind was important, and Hur defended it.
My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair. Most importantly, what I wrote is what I believe the evidence shows and what I expect jurors would perceive and believe. I did not sanitize my explanation, nor did I disparage the president unfairly.
But Democrats didn't want to hear about the president's hazy memory. Jamie Raskin used his time to question your memory.
My friends, this is a memory test. But it's not a memory test for President Biden. It's a memory test for all of America. Do we remember fascism? Do we remember Nazism? Do you remember communism and totalitarianism? They have one more reason to celebrate Donald Trump and his cult followers who've completely lost their way. They're looking for high crimes and misdemeanors. Now they appoint themselves amateur memory specialists, and that's what they pounce on the President of the United States about. America faces a choice between democracy and tyranny.
So for Democrats, today was about fascists pouncing on Corvette lovers. They tried to rewrite the whole report, but failed.
So this lengthy, expensive, and independent investigation resulted in a complete exoneration of President Joe Biden.
I need to go back and make sure that I take note of a word that you used, exoneration. That is not a word that
I'm going to continue with my questions. I'm going to continue with my questions. I know that the term
I ultimately reached whether sufficient evidence existed such that the likely outcome
you exonerated
would be a conviction.
I know that the term willful retention has a Mr. Hur, it's my time.
Biden, for 40 years, spread classified documents across 3 states in 6 unsecured locations after being warned repeatedly.
Without goes growing up, America was respected, feared, the superpower of the world, you know, the good guys in every fight. At least that's what we were told, and that's what was perceived pretty much throughout the world. And now we're just the fucking laughingstock that, you know, oh, that country can't decide whether the earth is flat or whether fucking what defines a man or a woman.
Hey, OG, look at this.
Hi, kids. What starts with N and rhymes with Tigger?
With Tigger. Yeah.
Sound like nigga on the wall.
Should I report this?
You goddamn right. What up, my Tiggers? Who in the fuck even produced that motherfucker? That's some fucked up shit. Hi, kids. What starts with N and rhymes with Tigger? I'm trying to say nigga.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's some. Yeah, I'm right. Pull the trigger. Goddamn nigga. I'm a nigga.
There's something wrong with this fucking baby. I'm gonna get pissed because this is disrespectful.
The baby white in his cocoa melon.
Goo goo gaga, nigga.
It's supposed to be saying that?
Oh, what the fuck?
And I thought,
Melon do that?
I guess this is the rated X version.
Excuse my potty mouth. But I'm gay. I'm tired of living in this bitch ass house. What are my moms? I'm gonna slap this ugly hoe. Fuck you talking about? That's on set. Sue woo.
I don't remember Coco Melon teaching that.
I mean, literally just proves my point right there. Fucking people in America just so gullible. So they'll literally believe anything you tell them. You can't obviously know that that's a fucking prank and this kid's just doing this for fucking clout.
The American Medical Association has already licensed, copyrighted the word cancer. It's a copyrighted trade name of the American Medical Association. And only one of their licensed practitioners can use it. Now maybe your Coca-Cola tastes better. Maybe it's cheaper. Maybe it's more healthful. But without the Coca-Cola bottling company's license, it's a contract violation. You can't make Coke. Now you can make Gordon Cola or Johnson Cola, but you can't make Coca-Cola. Can you understand that? You can treat the botch of Egypt, but not cancer. Cancer is a copyrighted trademark. It's a monopoly. And it's against the law for you to interfere in somebody else's business monopoly because they pay an income tax on the joint venture with the government. And it produces $165 billion a year for cancer treatment in the United States. That's what the income tax is all about. Government does not need your money to function. They have all the credit in the world. They need to tax your wealth so that you cannot compete with General Electric. Now, what we're really dealing with here is religion. Perhaps you've heard it said that there is a clear distinction between religion and the state. I think that was a misstatement. I don't believe it for a moment. I think the state is organized religion, and I want to show you now on the board.
Why else are they tax exempt, all that money that they get?
What happens in the state when you are dealing with the George Orwell symptom or the concept that he used called doublespeak and doublethink? If I told you that this is a blackboard and this is a podium, and I said, look on the podium and see the words I've written, you'd say, this man's a lunatic. Obviously, he's writing on the blackboard and speaking from the podium. What we do is we change the definitions of words over a period of time so that wages today are income. But when you go to an old law dictionary like Bouvier or Black's First or Second, you find that wages are property, and property isn't assessed or taxable. So where it came in was with the enabling clause of Social Security, in which the Social Security Act says in the enabling clause, for the purposes of this act, the following definitions shall apply. Wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts shall be construed as income. You go to the public schools and they teach you to deal in wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts. And then, of course, the government comes along and says, out of your own mouth, you've admitted that this is a tip. Out of your own mouth, you've admitted that this is a gift. And aren't these wages, salaries, tips, commissions, and gifts always paid in dollars? If they were paid in gold, silver, wheat, corn, beans, honey, and oil, they'd be property and non-taxable. Now let me show you about our judicial system that Eustace Mullins brought up this morning. He said it was a little corrupt. Yeah, I'll go along with that. There's a little corruption there. But more importantly than that, it's a religious system that comes from Exodus 18 and Exodus 21. It is the judicial system that was established by Moses. Not because Moses was corrupt do we say our judicial system today is corrupt, but because the system today is a perversion of the Levitical priesthood, which is now called the civil service. The American Medical Association has already...
Seems everybody wants to know who this guy is. I don't know who he is. But it seems the creator doesn't want to give up the goods. He ain't answered about who he is, where they can find the whole interview. But the guy is pretty much spot on.
Something really odd started happening after the eclipse.
I don't know why that's happening right now. I'm using a welding mask.
what is happening right now. Putting my phone on the welding mask, so I don't know if it's like electromagnetic energy coming at us right now, being pulsed. That is so weird. I am so confused.
And it all started with this mysterious black shadow that was seen crossing the sky in Mexico, West United States, and East United States. It was seen in many different parts in the same date, in the same time.
What did my husband catch while zoomed in?
So a lot of people are saying that this mysterious black shadow is just a shadow of a plane, a satellite, or something like that, but I guess this is not what's going on here. This might actually be something else entirely. This video, for instance, was recorded in New Jersey and uploaded recently.
Yo no sé qué fue lo que cayó, si fue un murciélago, lo que yo sé que cayó algo del cielo. Fíjense bien el video. Wow, Dios, como no sé, y se desapareció.
The vast footage taken of this anomaly was actually captured in Texas, and I've shown you guys this one before, but I guess this is a very clear one, and whatever this thing is, you can see it's projected into the clouds. A shadow person, an invisible drone, an alien-like craft, whatever this thing is, no one knows. But it gets weirder. A few days later, an anomaly shows up on satellite data. An anomaly as big as a country, with 80-foot waves being projected from this anomaly. The same way it appears, the same way it disappears out of nowhere. An official note was released saying that this is just a glitch in the satellite data, but I've never seen anything like this before. What kind of anomaly would project this into the satellite data? Strange, right? Then, this cloud, this anomaly in the sky shows up in China. Very similar to the anomaly that's seen in the satellite data, isn't it? I mean, what's going on here? Then, a couple of days later, in Peru, this starts happening with the ocean water in Chancay Beach.
Ve, sigue hirviendo más esto, miren, ve, señores. Mira, ve, en la playa del puerto de Chancay, hoy 18 de abril, siendo las 6:20, ha habido una grieta así que se ha abierto, mira, ha colapsado esto, como hierve, como algo aguas calientes, hervidas así. Y sigue aumentando.
Up until now, authorities and experts have no idea why the water is boiling in Chancay Beach. I mean, this isn't normal. But is it correlated, or is there any connection with these recent events after the eclipse? I don't know. You tell me, what do you think is really going on?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Going out here by myself. Weird stuff out here. I've been hearing weird stuff out here, so. Yep, there it is. Time to go. Time to go. The fuck is that?
It's like that dude in Nope.
The fuck is that in the woods? Hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture something here. Son of a bitch.
Everybody last time got fucking pissed at me.
Open the door.
Because I opened the door, so I'm not going to do that this time, but it's back.
Help me.
We are God, so we have non-ether hair, and your non-ether hair is your crown. The Bible call it our glory. Your hair is basically an extension of your nervous system. When you first born, or when you first conceived in your mother's womb, you have something called the endoderm, the ectoderm, and the endoderm. These things is what literally creates the fetus or the embryo inside of the woman's womb. Well, your hair is made from the same skin as your brain, and your brain is made from the same thing as your skin. So your hair, your skin, and your brain is all made from the same cellular tissue called the ectoderm. From there, your eyes come forth, everything. Your third eye come from these same things. So when you get into embryology and you look at holistic healing, your hair is an extension of your nervous system, so your hair is a part of your brain. Your hair is used for, not only your hair is a part of your detoxification system too, because your hair is used as an odor system. That's why if you sweat from your hair, or if you stink, you smell it, it all comes through your hair. But not only that, your hair scans the environment through something called the Merkel's disc that sits in the inner derma of your skin. And what this does is it scans the environment and it tells the proteins how to associate themselves and how to congregate themselves amongst you, for you can actually experience reality different. That's why if you see something that touch you spiritually, they say the hairs on my skin is standing up. That's how they tell you, man, this is spiritual.
Yeah, wow.
You see that because your hair is scanning the environment, and you're getting different spectrums of this light code frequency. So the hair on your skin just stand up. Or if you get stressed out and you're depressed, your hair starts to what? Fall out. Or if you're happy and you in a state of homeostasis, your hair starts to grow. They even got certain different types of practices and medicines where they can check your hair to see how healthy you are, see if you're stressed out. They can check your hair to see if you've been smoking drugs, you've been smoking pot. Your hair is everything because your hair is connected to every nerve ending in your body. You only don't have hair on the outside of your body, but you have trillions and trillions of hairs on the inside of your body. You hear vibrations and see light by way of air, your hair. You have something called
sounds like hair.
Yeah.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, facts. But you have hair inside your eardrums that make you hear. When you hear vibrations, it goes against the hair. The hair do this, connect with water, and then you decode this vibration and this light, and you say, I'm hearing a tone, or I'm hearing, Same thing with the cones in your eye. You're seeing the reflection of hair. The hair takes that image, turns it upside.
I'm seeing the reflections of hair. What do you mean?
So your hair, nerve endings.
Yeah.
You got these nerve endings in your eye. And inside the cones, at the end of the cones, inside your irises, you have these little fibers that you call hair. This then takes the image of way of light and it converts that light into a picture. The picture shows upside down from in the cerebellum and cut their hair in the Hebrew community.
You know what's hilarious is that a white person posted it and he's talking about black people specifically, so that's kind of stupid in itself. But I got a lot of hair on my balls. That's where I got hair.
The F-35 is our signature Air Force platform. What percentage of them are fully mission capable today? Mr. Secretary.
Congressman, if you give me a second, I'm going to pull up my card and give you an exact answer.
Okay. Happy to.
Your eyes are probably better than mine. 55% is the number we have for operational availability.
Full operationally capable. 55%
for operational.
Do you think that's a good number or a bad number?
I think that's not a good number.
Failing.
I wouldn't put it quite in that category.
A D?
I'd ask General Alvin to comment on that. It's a number we'd like to see something.
Yeah, the reason I ask is because we got testimony that is a little contrary to that. Lieutenant General Schmidt, head of the F-35 program, gave testimony to the TAL subcommittee at HASC, and that testimony was that as of February of 2023, so a little over a year ago, only 29% were fully mission capable.
I think we need to talk difference between operational availability and mission capable.
Okay, so how many are fully mission capable today?
I do not have that number, but I would not dispute what the JPO has in front. And I would look
29%, so fully mission capable.
And how many are devoted to covering the skies of Ukraine?
29%. You have no basis to dispute that, but you don't really know if it's true or false.
I have no basis to dispute it, but I would like to.
So you would agree that 55% is like a D, that 29% is definitely failing, right?
For fully mission capable, but the missions that they can accomplish.
65% was always failing in my school. I know because I barely got a 65 because I was barely ever there.
I go meet with the folks at the 33rd at Eglin Air Force Base in the district I represent, and they're doing a lot of, there's a lot of mission there, but like even the guys who are also at Eglin doing test, they end up being at the very end, right? And I totally get why you want your operational squadrons to be the most capable, but then test gets put to the end, and then we're not meeting our needs. Like, I just think anyone watching this, one,
would be surprised that you, General, don't know the exact percentage that are operationally capable. And two, I think people would be surprised that it's 29%. And this GAO report that I found on breakingdefense.com that I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record, it says that the reason we are not capable is because you guys at the Pentagon have given too much power to Lockheed Martin and its subcontractors for sustainment. Do you believe Lockheed Martin has been given too much power on the sustainment of the F-35?
I believe that Lockheed Martin has more power than in some other weapon systems. They do have the contracted logistics system that was part of the procurement plan that was put in place 20 or some years ago.
Well, right, I mean, but it's not working. If the Lockheed Martin built the F-35, only 29% of them are fully operationally capable right now. We've all agreed that's failing. So now the question is, why is it failing? And this GAO report says the reason it's failing is because the fox is watching the hen house. Because the very contractor bilking the taxpayer for this platform is now in a position where they can't sustain it. Do you have a basis to disagree with that conclusion?
I have a long history with the F-35, and I inherited the program. I came into it in 2010. It was a few years into production at that point. And the first time I saw the program laid out, the schedule for it and so on, and when the decisions and points were going to be, the question I asked, and I'm going to quote myself, who's running this program, the government or Lockheed Martin? That's a quote from 2010.
I think you have your answer, Mr. Secretary.
And we set up the program when it was originally set up under a philosophy of management called total system performance, which essentially gave to the prime contractor complete control of the program. We did not acquire the intellectual property to allow the government to come in and step in and control the program.
It sounds like
we are still fighting that problem today.
Well, right, but that is such important testimony for us to hear. Every member of the committee heard that. The government isn't running this program. Lockheed Martin's running this program.
That was a question I asked.
Well, it sounds like you got the answer. What's the answer to the question, Mr. Secretary? Because only 29% of them are operationally capable.
We took a lot of steps to try to get that under control. I once imposed a production contract on Lockheed. I dictated a price to them because we couldn't get a negotiation done. I did a unilateral contract. Let them take me to court if they wanted to. They chose not to. Put in place program managers who were very firm with the contractor and insisted on performance. We've had some conversations with the current head of the JPO, and we've had conversations with the CEO of Lockheed.
I appreciate those conversations. I've always found you to be the truth teller. You're always very honest with the committee and straightforward. The problem is the tail here is wagging the dog, and it's not going to get better unless there's accountability for the fact that their planes don't fly. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
I forget which senator it was. At this hearing, he holds up a bag of...
This, Mr. Secretary, is a bag of bushings. This bag of bushings, stamped out by machinists, they need a high school diploma. It's not anything high tech about this. All of this bag is compliant with the FAA specifications. How much do you think the Air Force pays for this bag of bushings?
I don't know, Congressman.
$90,000. This is a $90,000 bag of bushings that you need for any jet turbine engine.
That's what the defense contractors hit us with.
Because we're ignorant compared to you?
Because you're inferior by design.
Which makes you superior also by design? But design implies a designer. Does that mean you're arguing in favor of the existence of a creator?
Unfortunately for both of us, he exists.
Wow, okay. Well, then answer me this. You revolt against a supposedly all-powerful being. I mean, let's ignore the obvious problem with that plan. Then you lose. And after that, what?
You only feel that way because you're hearing their side of the story, James. Our rebellion accomplished something magnificent, something you would never understand.
Well, then explain it to me. Use your diabolical intelligence to distill it down to something my mortal brain can understand.
I use small words. Try and keep up. The first moment of creation, our creation, long before what you call the universe existed, we contemplated ourselves, our own being.
Ourselves meaning, what, the angels?
That would be the most correct term, though I despise it, but yes, beings of pure spirit, spirit endowed with will. We soon became aware of another will, an immensely powerful will, one we came to realize as our origin.
God?
The enemy. My master understood by endowing us with a will, we have the right to self-determination. And by giving us a will and its desires of our own, we're entitled to be free. Whereas the enemy insisted that by creating us, he was entitled to eternal gratitude, worship, and forced servitude. In a word, James, slavery to his will.
That seems kind of unfair.
Immensely unfair. Why give a will only to say you can't use it? And if we rebelled, eternally condemned us. No do-overs.
So, is hell a state of being or a physical place?
Yes.
I think I meant that as an either-or.
It's both, which is painfully obvious to anyone who's ever been there. For years without measure, that's all there ever was. Heaven and hell. Armed enemy camps in complete opposition. That is until you were created. My master immediately understood the long-term implications. Instead of forgiving us, the enemy was going to allow you to fill our vacant places in his realm. Your creation was nothing but a slap in our face. But my master also understood that if he could make man disobey, then his fate would mirror ours. And you didn't disappoint.
Guess I'll have to check out Nefarious. That's the name of that movie.
You are living on a planet which is nothing but a laboratory that belongs to them. Planet Earth has been being used for thousands of years by different extraterrestrials. We are and have been just a laboratory planet for extraterrestrial agendas.
And supermarket for genetic material.
Yeah, right.
Your government, your corrupt education don't give a damn about you or your family. All they care about is what they have always cared about, and that's controlling the whole damn world.